Hello YouTube, in this video we're going to be talking about some decks that are really good in the Limit 1 Festival, and then I'm going to talk about the 3 loner decks. If you guys like these kinds of videos I've been making on this channel, really appreciate a subscription to the channel or a like on the video. Thank you so much, it really helps out a lot. Without further ado, let's jump into this first list. Alright, so this video is actually a follow-up to the 5 best decks for the Limit 1 Festival. All the decks provided in the previous video are absolutely nuts. I tested them myself, and we went like 16-0 before having to call it quits on my stream. It was absolutely incredible, and then these are some decks that we built in addition. I think these decks are just as strong, and I'm focusing more on budget with these options. So the first list is Zoodiac, Tri-Brigade, Melffy. So Zoodiac is incredible. Any Zoodiac monster is going to get you into your full combo, whether it being your Zeus or your Trident. Both are quite good. And the Tri-Brigades, you're just going to need to play different extenders, different Tri-Beasts in order to make a full-fledged deck. So you kind of combine engines, and these ones work really well together. Adding in Lyralisk to this deck would also be completely fine. So for this list, we're playing the 1 copy of DD Crow. It's a winged beast hand trap, right? And then we have Nerval, 1 copy of Maxi, 1 copy of Calentosa. This is for the Melffy engine. So you're going to special summon this off of the puppy or off of the XYZ monster if you choose to play it. But yeah, a really good monster to even summon off a Ferrigite to destroy a card. We have the Nemesis flag. The Nemesis cards are to make Colossus, which is hilarious. We banish a lot in this deck, and it lets you recycle some of your banished one-ofs, which is actually pretty important. Like, you can banish your Trident off of a Tri-Brigade effect and then put it back in your extra deck. So yeah, I love these cards. We have Melffy Caddy and Melffy Puppy. If you draw these, they're actually just good in their own right. You can special summon them in the end phase, and then they're just an interaction on their own. So you don't have to really draw any kinds of combo to make these cards good. They're just good single cards to draw. We then have Karis and Kit. We have Ash Blossom and 1 of each Zoodiac. Bunny Blast, Whiptail, Thoroughblade, Ram, Cataroost. You just need quantity, right? So we have Nemesis Corridor. This turns into your Colossus. Nemesis Flag just searches the corridor. We also have a Fractal. I chose some Kaijus, Radian, and Godarla. You could also put more expensive hand traps here. We have Orbital Hydrolander, of course. Not super synergistic in this deck, but this is the best card in Highlander format. You should probably just play it in every deck that uses the graveyard. Then we use Raigeki, Feather Duster, Monster Reborn. Obedience Spooled is incredible. Summons 3 level 2 beasts from your deck. And we have plenty of targets, so it's almost always going to work. Really, really good card. Shuffle Reborn is like a revival for your Zoodiacs. It's really cool because you can summon a Zoodiac and its effects are negated, but you can put it back in the extra deck to draw a card, and you can use its body as a material and go into a different Zoodiac monster. So overall, just a really nice card. This was played heavily in Zoodiac format. Next, we have Lightning Storm, Pot of Prosperity, Fire Formation Tenki, and Tri-Brigade Standoff. We're going to play Forbidden Chalice and Cattle Call. This card's kind of funny. You just send away one of your dudes and you get an extra deck dude with the same type. It's pretty okay at best. You could probably cut it, but it's pretty fun. The monster can't attack, unfortunately. It's very good for triggering some of your Tri-Brigades and getting into your Zoodiac lines. We then have Cosmic Cyclone, Call by the Grave. Forbidden Droplets, again, you could play anything else instead of this. It's just tech. Torrential Tribute, Compulse, Zoodiac Combo, Infinite Impermanence, Tri-Brigade Revolt, and Solemn Judgment. For the extra deck, we play Colossus. If you don't have Colossus, if you don't want to craft it, just cut the Nemesis cards, and the deck works the same. It's perfectly fine. We have Tiger Mortar, we have Trident, Borbo, Chakanine, and, of course, Zeus. We have double Dragon Lords for the Zoodiac cards. This card is one of the flex spots. You don't need it, but it is really nice. So if you have this card, I recommend it. Yeah, Ferrigite, Barabrum, Nightmare Unicorn, generic tech. Megaclops, this doesn't really come up that much. You don't need it. Rugal. We have Appaloosa. I do think Appaloosa is pretty important. You make it in a lot of the Tri-Brigade boards. Access Code Talker for game, and the 1 copy of Shurig. A very good pick, honestly. I had a lot of fun playing this deck. If you have some of these cards, I think it could work for you. But let's move on to the next deck for now. The next deck I have to feature is Fusion Pile. It's a bit more of an expensive deck that I'm presenting to you, but this deck was absolutely insane. We were beating all kinds of meta strategies in this event with this deck, and it just felt so powerful and synergistic. I had to show it to you guys. So for this deck, we are playing the 1 copy of Comedy, 1 Tragedy. We have our Maxi, Shaddoll Falco, Nemesis Flag, Shaddoll Hedgehog. We have the 1 Ash Blossom, the 1 Wendy. We have Squamata Dragon and Alistair the Invoker, of course, right? It's a fusion deck. Next, we have Shaddoll Ariel and Nemesis Corridor, the Nemesis Flag and Corridor again, going into Colossus. We banish a lot in this deck, very easy to summon. We then use the Dogmatika cards as a support engine. So we have Ecclesia, Fallen of Albaz, really powerful card. Nice to have his access to his fusion monsters. We then have Aluber, Incredible Ecclesia, Shaddoll Beast, Dogmatika Fleur-de-Lis, Maximus, and Dramaturge. We then play Albion the Shrouded Dragon for consistency, Ad Libitum for follow-up, and Harpy's Feather Duster. Foolish Burial, Terraforming. These cards are nice to have if you have them. If you don't sweat it. You can play other cards in these slots as well. Different Shaddolls. You can play King of the Swamp, Polymerization style cards. You can even add a Fluffle engine. Whatever you want. We have Allure of Darkness, One Shaddoll Fusion, Invocation, and Nadir Servant. We play Magical Meltdown, Despian Theater, Super Polymerization. One of the most powerful cards in our deck. We then have One Call by the Grave, Branded Opening, Branded in Red, Sinister Shadow Games, very powerful to access your Shaddoll engine, Infinite Impermanence, Dogmatika Punishment, and Shaddoll Schism. Schism gives you access to all of your fusion monsters. It's so nice having them, and then your Nemesis can return them to the extra deck to summon them again. In the extra deck, we have Elder Entity and Tess, Winda, Apcalone, Construct, and Colossus. We then have Invoked Agoides, Titaniclad, Albion, and Quiritis. So Albion and Titaniclad, you need Titaniclad for the Dogmatikas. Albion's just for Albaz. So if you were to cut this engine, you don't need that guy. We have Quiritis though, and Masquerade, important for your Despian strategy. Makaba's here, Shekanaga to support. We have Perskenian and the Secure Gardna Almirage package. Loved playing this deck. I have a crazy replay I hope to share with you guys in maybe the next video where we were playing this 7 turns against the Tri-Brigade deck. Absolutely insane deck. So much fun to play. And if you have some of these cards, I suggest building a fusion pile. It's super fun and a great way to play the event. But let's move on to the next deck for now. Alright, so the last constructed deck I have for this video is Eldlich Zoodiac. This deck is absolutely crazy. It's something I haven't quite built yet, but I'm going to be playing this on stream today. Check it out. So for this list, we are playing Magician Souls. You don't need it, but it is really nice. You can send one of your Dogmatikas from deck to graveyard, and it lets you trade in some of your traps, especially if you hit like an Eldlich trap, for fresh draws. So really, really good to have. You honestly just don't need it though. So if you don't have it, don't stress. We have Ash Blossom and Bunny Blast, Whiptail, Thoroughblade, Ram. You're going to just play all these guys. They're all good. And having access to your Zoodiac engine is super important. So yeah, we play as many of these as we can. You could even play Cataroost if you wanted even more names. We have Ecclesia, Fleur-de-Lis, and Ashiyan. It was important to me to have another high-level Dogmatika monster to send off of Magician Souls, but playing Maximus in a deck like this doesn't make a lot of sense since it's very hard for us to get an extra monster in the graveyard. It's the Golden Lord and the Lord of the Heavenly Prison. Heavenly Prison not required. As you can see, I don't have this. It's just like icing on the cake. Being able to search out your draw cards in this deck, super nice. Speaking of draw cards, after Harpy's Feather Duster, we do play Card of Demise and Pot of Extravagance. Well, Card of Demise doesn't have perfect synergy here. There's sometimes you're going to end up discarding like your Zoodiacs or not being able to XYZ. You have such a high density of spells and traps, and honestly, just top decking this or saving it for your like the crackback is just so incredibly strong. Drawing potentially 3 interactions with 1 card is too good to pass up. We then have the Extravagance, the 1 Eldlich, the Nadir Servant, the Pot of Prosperity, and Tenki. As much consistency as we can find. We do have Cursed Eldland, Eldlich of White Destiny, Mirror Force, why not, right? I just put all the decent traps in the game in the deck. So if you have like a favorite, if you want to play more trap holes, whatever you want, guys. Just play whatever you have access to. This event is meant to be for fun. I wouldn't recommend crafting too much stuff for this event, if anything. I've crafted a couple super rares, but only stuff I know I'm going to use after the event ends. Then I have Ring of Destruction, Torrential Tribute, Compulse, Dynamiscus, Floodgate Trap Hole, Infinite Impermanence, Scarlet Sanguine, Punishment, and Judgment. A Solemn Strike if you got it. We have a Golden Land Forever, Anti-Spell Fragrance, absolutely incredible Floodgate, Rivalry of Warlords, Summon Limit, Gozen Match, Fog Blade. You're seeing a theme here, Floodgates, as many as they let us play. We then have the Guardian, the Haquero, and Conquistador for the extra deck, Titaniclad to go with the Dogmatika engine. We have the Mortar, the Trident, the Borbo, the Hammer Kong, and Chakanine for our zoos. The honorary Zoodiac, Drill Driver, and Zeus. Yeah, We then play Link Spider and Vampire Sucker, a bunch of Charmers, and Nightmare Unicorn into Selene Access Code combo. So yeah, basically just like a tech deck. Really like this style of Eldlich where you're playing Magician Souls and a normal summon engine to go into like a consolidated combo and then backing it up with traps. I feel like this is the way Eldlich is going to be played moving forward if it is played with the one Conquistador. We will see after Magician Souls gets a buff with Illusion of Chaos coming out. Will this deck fall back into the meta domain? I don't know. But in this event, this is pretty sick. I can't wait to play it. Guys, let's talk about the loner decks though, the true budget way to play this event. So I've reviewed all 3 loner decks and here's my opinion. The worst loner deck is the Reptiles. Yeah, unfortunate, right? These cards are so cool, but they just put in so many bad cards. Like, you can't overcome this deficit when you're playing against decent meta strategies if you're just playing a deck full of like really bad Reptiles. There's just not enough good Reptile cards, and while there are some good staples in this deck, it's just not enough to carry you. The next worst structure deck is the Fairies. The Fairy deck is actually somewhat playable, but come on. We're playing 1 Creation and 1 Shine Ball. Like, in what world, right, is this good? Just don't play the Creation. Don't play the Shine Ball. And overall, like, these cards are just more of a combo deck that isn't as consistent. Yeah, so I don't recommend you play this deck. However, we got to talk about the Dragon deck. This one is pretty good. You can definitely clear the event with this deck. This is the true budget strategy for the event because all the dragons go into Striker, which searches the field spell, which adds back a Rocket, which goes into other dragon monsters, and they have real boss monsters. Borrel Sword, even Borrel Load, Zero Boros. The Shurig is pretty funny. They play this Shurig so you can summon it off a Scapegoat. I thought this was a meme, and it is, but I was playing against this deck, and they end-phased Scapegoat, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting Shurigged. And it actually sucked. So yeah, this deck's pretty good. It has a lot of removal. They even give them a Dark Hole. It has good staples and a very decent engine. You have like Pankratops. You have access to Rocket Tracer, an incredible 1-card starter. So if you're going to play a loner deck, play the Dragon one. And low-key, this deck is pretty good. You can definitely win. I've lost to it while playing in this event, and I think it is a very solid pick. But guys, that's going to be it for this video. So we showed 3 decks today. I have another video with 5 more decks. I think between these, you can get a good idea of how to build a deck for this event. And I hope that you found these videos helpful. Let me know in the comments your experience with this event. I'll be live today and in my streams next week as well, playing in this. So if you do want to see some gameplay and hang out, love to see you there. Twitch.tv/CardCircuit. Thank you again for watching. I really appreciate any subscriptions, likes on the channel. Helps out with the algorithm so much. And I hope you guys have an absolutely incredible day. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.